Hola. I just got home from the Met. Um, it was amazing. I went by myself and I just ordered some spam musubis from a Hawaiian spot near my house. It is really good. And I also got some Hawaiian sun, oh, passion fruit drink. So that, no, it's like a juice. It has something in my teeth. Okay, it's so good. Um, Today was a great day. It's the first time I have like a me day. Um, where I actually take myself out on a date. Because I usually like can have days that I'm with myself, but I don't do anything. And I think there's a difference between being by yourself and doing nothing and like taking yourself out for a date or like quality time with yourself, you know? It's like when you're with someone, being just existing together does not equal the same value as like quality time, where you like go out together and do something together. Same thing with yourself. Um and today I was like I need to take a day to myself, like a solo date or something. And I went to the Met. Before going to the Met, I had a conversation with, let's just say, I'm in a complicated situation with um, spirituality and religion. Not that it's like anything bad. I'm just like, I grew up Catholic, and then I kind of like separated myself from it a few years ago because I was doubting, and then I'm kind of finding it through my art and myself. And it's been a journey, but let's just say there definitely is a higher power, a God. I don't think, again, I've talked about this before, I don't think we know exactly which one is the truth. Um, but I do know that he, them, whatever it is exists. She, I don't know. um, and it's because I can feel it and I can see it and I've seen it happening recently. It's like the moment I decided to follow or like really be honest with myself and what I'm meant to do here, cuz I've been just like trying to do what people think is what I should be doing and not following exactly what felt like I should be doing, or I want to be doing. I was really disconnected from, let's name it God for this video, or higher power, however. But when I talk about that, know that I'm not referring to a specific one, just like the entity as a whole. So follow me with that. Let's just say it wasn't until I sat with myself and I was like, okay, this is who I am, and I'm just gonna follow the voice that I've been hearing to tell me to do this, even if it brings fear, because that's what I need to do. I think when the decisions in your head are divided, and the to know which one you should do is usually the one who you have to do, but it's always like comes in a combo order with fear. You know? I feel like your mind can be split into two, and you can be like, this is one I should do, that I need to do, and everyone tells me to do, and it's like what's proven to like work, whatever. But then there's this other part of me that is like, no, I need to do that, but it's so scary because it's so uncertain. It's so I don't know how to do how to do that, whatever. And I really truly think that that is the part of you that you should follow, because something I've realized is that when you trust God, when you trust the entity, they will reward you. How? Because it rewards courage. All he wants you to do is trust in the path and literally take the most out of every day that you can and be grateful for what you have and trust that you'll end up exactly where you need to be and you're going to be content and fulfilled if you follow that. Because if you try to go against that, you usually end up kind of empty. Like that's when, let's say, people reach success in life, like money, and they're millionaires and whatever, and they have everything, and then they realize, I have nothing. They're empty. They're not fulfilled. It's because they try to go against what was meant for them. And that's also a question I was asking myself earlier, is like, what what entirely is free will? Because we do have a plan that's made for us, but then do we really have a plan if we have free will? And that's something I've been like now exploring. It's like, what is the plan and what is free will? And I genuinely think that God gives everyone a plan of action. Like he gives you all the tools around you. He gives you, when you're born, it's like before you're born, he tells you exactly who you are and where you're gonna end up. And then once you're born, blank, and he challenges you, and he challenges you, and he's like, okay, now you gotta get there by yourself, but with the tools I've given you. And I'm gonna help you if you listen to me, but you gotta trust me. Trust me. I know it's scary, but trust me. And then when you grow up, of course, that voice is not like prominent. Like it's not gonna be in your face. It's not like someone's actually talking to you. It's something that you feel that's like outside of you. And I feel like you notice that voice or you hear that voice once you feel things that are like too coincidental. And sometimes when we label things as coincidences too often, they're not a coincidence anymore. It's clearly something else that's like hinting. Or like when you look back and something is like completely aligned out of nowhere. It's like, how the hell did this happen? And you somehow sometimes want to control the outcomes and you can't. When you try to control them, something fails. Something goes wrong. And I feel like that's when free will to a certain point exists, because you have the free will to listen, to trust, and that takes you faster into the answers that you need. But there's also the free will to be like, no, I'm going to do what I think is right. And like listen to God in my own way, or like not even listen or whatever. And then that usually is where free will takes you somewhere completely distant from yourself, from feeling fulfilled. Because I feel like the feeling of fulfillment is the feeling of like self, of being completely in you, like inside of you, being tuned and connected with yourself. And I feel like when people feel like an out of body experience where they feel so empty, it's because they're not inside themselves. You know what I mean? And I feel like once you start just accepting, you are not like the rest of the people. You might be like some people, or some people might share the same qualities or interests that you have. That doesn't mean you are like them or you need to do what they're doing. They have a whole completely different map and path that's made for them. You were not born in the exact time, exact moment, exact place where they were born. You've seen just like the slight change of like what you learn in a minute or in an hour in your day-to-day affects you so much in who you are. So like if someone, let's say they're exactly the same as you, but then you guys were born in completely different places, whatever, they're not exactly the same as you. Literally. So that means that there are things planned for them that is not necessarily the same that are planned for you. And you can definitely find like-minded people and feel safe knowing that, hey, like, if they did it, I can. And it's like more of like God puts you these people around you, or puts this like figures in front of you. Let's say like a celebrity or someone who like is really similar to like who you are in your path. They were put in front of you, so you take that as a sign of like, hey, they did it, you can do it, just trust me, just do what you feel is right for you. Follow your instinct, follow your intuition. Because someone can come and tell you like, you need to do this and this and this for your business, or this and this and this for your art, or this for your life, and money. And then you do what they tell you, And then literally you end up in a place that it's like, bro, where the hell am I? You're in somewhere else. You're literally in someone else's path, not yours. That's why you feel so disconnected. You somehow stepped into someone else's road and yours was here and it's bare and it's been waiting for you. And the voice from God is being like, yo, 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 yo. And it's not until you like stop and look around that you realize like it's right in front of you. It wasn't until the last year and a half, basically, the moment I decided to move to New York, that I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna follow that voice. Because I was working a 9 to 5 job in Panama and remotely. And I worked so much. It was horrible. It was a horrible, horrible experience because I was overworked, underpaid. And I did the job of like 3 people at once. And I worked from like 7 a.m. because I had to wake up earlier because of the time difference, because I was living in Savannah at that time. And then I finished working at like 11, 12 a.m., 11 p.m. because it was so much work and I was not on time with things because it was so much. And I literally said, this is literally not a life. I am not happy. And something is telling me to go to New York and I don't know what it is. And I've never been to New York, but something tells me I need to be there. I had no money, no job, no anything. And I was like, yo, I don't know why I feel like I can do it. Physically and literally, there is absolutely no way I could survive a month in New York with the amount of money I had. And I just said, you know what? I don't give a shit. I have nothing to lose. Literally have nothing to my name. I have no trust fund. I have no savings. I just have $1,500 in my bank account. That's it. That's it. Flat. And I said, yeah, this is all I need. I'm going to figure something out. And I remember that moment in my life, I had heard about The Artist Way, the book. And I was like, I'm going to start it because I'm going to New York. And then I started reading it in the plane. And then one quote from the book always stuck with me. And it was, take the leap and the net will appear. And I was always like, holy shit. Take the leap and the net will appear. I'm going to trust in that. At that time, I let go of the book. I didn't even start week 1. And it's because I wasn't ready and I didn't know. I just started. Starting my 3rd week this tomorrow, Monday. And I've realized that why I didn't do it before. I wasn't ready. Now it's the time I am ready. And there was something, again, that I couldn't control. I was like, I need to do this book. And there was just something pulling me back from it. I'm like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. And I look back now and I'm like, wow, yeah, there was definitely a reason why. And I wasn't ready and I didn't know that at the time. I thought I had to. Point is that it's literally all kind of like controlled super indirectly and organically by God, let's say. Because you can do whatever you want, but in the long run, you're going to end up exactly where you need to be somehow, sooner or later. The thing is that if you get to it sooner, you're going to be able to experience peace and fulfillment earlier. And I think that's why usually, like at old age, people turn to religion because they realize like, yo, I don't have purpose or meaning. And then they find God in whatever religion they're in and they find that they have a purpose. And everyone feels this connection to God in their own way, even atheists. They will tell you they don't, but they do. The voice they're talking to in their heads and the things that they're doing and whatever, even if they don't believe in it, it's still present in some way, but they won't like see it as a voice. They will just see it as their own mind. But sometimes your mind has a voice that's not even yours. And it takes a lot of attention to seek that out, to be like, that's not me talking. That's like something talking through me. But recently I've been feeling this more often than not because I've been seeing coincidences and like serendipitous moments and synchronicity everywhere around me that I'm like, this is not a coincidence anymore. Like, it's super scary how I feel like I'm being thrown information or signs all the time. And I sometimes have to stop and be like, yo, what is this? Like, oh my God, I saw you. I hear you. I hear you. Thank you. Like, it wasn't until I started not necessarily believing in it, more like questioning it. I just started talking like, I was like, who are you and what do you want from me? Like, I need a sign to know that I'm doing something right because I'm suffering here. Like, I'm just going through so much. I'm tired. And then something insane happened. It feels like someone just answered my questions. It was like a week after I had that conversation with whatever was out there. I woke up one day, and this was after finishing the first week of The Artist Way. Um, and I was like, bro, today I don't know why I feel so good. And I decided I was gonna go buy some matcha because I've been wanting to start making matcha at home. I was like, I'm gonna go find some matcha. And I was going to go to this H Mart. And then I end up stumbling upon a supermarket near to my house, and I was like, it looks bougie. Maybe they do have matcha. And I go walk in, look at a whole thing, and then up a tub, there was this little tubs of matcha, and I was like, holy shit, oh my God, they have it. So I buy it, but then I end up doing like my groceries there. And I was like, oh my God, I should do this recipe that I've been wanting to do for a year and I haven't done. And I bought the ingredients and I was so excited. I went home, I made matcha, and I made the recipe. And I was so happy because it was so much better than I imagined. Like, it was so good. And then the matcha was great. And then that day I posted a story. My first time posting a public story in my public Instagram, just talking, just being myself. It was like me posting me showing my matcha or whatever. I was like, bro, I recorded that for my Finsta, and then I was like, why am I hiding myself from people? Like, I'm not doing anything sus or like explicit. I'm literally being myself. Why am I hiding myself? And I decided to post it. And then I received such great feedback from just people being like, hey, yo, like you should post more like this, whatever. Like, oh, it's cool to see, like, I don't know. People were like interacting with me, which I didn't think people would. I think people would be like, unfollow. So it's like weird ass bitch. And after that, I decided to delete Instagram because I was like, I don't want to see any responses. I want to post it and close. I want to be use my Instagram as a platform, not as a consumer. So I was like, delete that shit. Anyways, I did my recipe. I sit down and I'm like, I gotta watch a movie. I haven't watched a movie in a while. I kind of like watch a Studio Ghibli movie. Studio Ghibli movies scratch my brain in some way. There's so much wisdom in them. I don't know what they do, but they're so good and beautiful as well, full of so much messages and symbolism and lessons. And I think they're such perfect movies for children, but also for adults. So I start looking at the movies and I'm like, I've seen Neighbor Totoro, I've seen Arrietty, I've seen Spirited Away, I've seen House on My Castle, I've seen all of them, and I'm like, none of them is like scratching my brain. Like, I don't want one specific. And then I stumble upon one called Whisper of the Heart, and I was like, never seen that, but it sounds familiar for some reason. And I read the bio, and it's like the journey of a little girl trying to figure out her passion in life, inspired by a young man that's a violin builder. I am like, huh? Discovering her passion? I'm like, that's literally me right now. I'm like starting to figure out my path and like what I'm actually meant to do and like what is my calling and what type of art I want to be creating. I was like, this is a perfect movie. I played it. I finished the movie, and I was just like I couldn't breathe because it was exactly what I needed to hear. Like, that movie found me. It was exactly everything that I was going through and exactly what I needed to hear, the moment that I needed to hear it. If I would have watched that movie, let's say 3 months ago, I would have been like, oh, that's cute. I watched it exactly when I had to. Like, it felt like I didn't choose it. It just chose me. It was calling me. And recently, I've been paying attention a lot to the callings. To like, why do I feel attracted to this? Or like, why do I feel like I should follow that? Or why do I feel like I need to stand here and like look for a period of time. Like, I don't know. I'm like, why do I feel like I need to do this? I just do it. And that movie found me, and I was like, there's no way. I finished my food. I finished the movie. I was like, this is a, this is just insane. This is a sign. This is definitely like a sign. And then I'm like, I'm so giddy. I download Instagram again, and I open it. I'm like, oh my God, I have a lot of, like, not a lot, but I have like a few DMs. And I'm like, oh my God, there's people responding. And then there's this creative director that I've been following for a while that I found through a photographer that I really like. They're like, she's from LA. And I didn't know where this creative director was from. I just know I loved her work. She was so cool. So I followed her. And she responded to my story. And I was like, oh my God, she responded to my story. What the hell? What the hell? Like, she didn't even know she followed me. And then she opens, I open the DM and she says, by any chance you live in this street? Hi, neighbor. Yeah. And I'm like, huh? The story that I put was me talking right there. And the background was my back wall. That was it for my room. And I'm like, yeah? What the hell? Where do you live? Do you also live in this street? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, wait, what number? Like, what building? And she's like, there's two of the same buildings. They look exactly the same. They're like cut sister buildings. And she's like, immediately, she's like, do you live in one or two? And I'm like, what the hell? How do you know exactly which one it is? And I'm like, one? And she's like, what floor? And I'm like, there's no way. And I'm like, this floor? And she's like, open your door. I open my goddamn apartment door, and she is my next door neighbor. We sharing a wall. And I was like, there's no way. What the fuck is going on? I was shaking. She was so excited. We were like, what the hell is going on? She's like, yo, if I weren't in my bed today, it was like a Sunday. If I were in my bed today doing nothing, just looking at stories, and I didn't like inspect yours, because it really looked familiar. I realized that the wall you had behind you is exactly the one I was living in. So I recognize that wall anywhere because it's like a flex apartment. So like the wall is built in. Well, they built it. So it's like a really specific design of a wall. And she's like, I recognize that wall anywhere. And I was like, what the fuck? She has been living here for 3 years. And I moved here like a year ago and we've never seen each other. Never, 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 never. The thing is that if I were have met her before that day, we wouldn't have clicked at all. Because I wasn't the same person I was literally like 2 weeks before that. I swear. I changed. I grew and woke up so much in a week specifically because of the artist way. It kind of like unplugged me. But I have been doing a lot of like cooking in my brain about it, but I was stuck. But the artist way kind of like unplugged me. The point is, we hung out the rest of the day and we realized this girl and me, everything was a bounce off of each other. No stutters, no anything. We are so like-minded. Like, we understood each other to another level where like our struggles were the same. The way like we see things are the same. The period in life that she's at was like specific to where like she needed to meet someone like me. And she told me that she had manifested, like asked for someone similar to her because she needed that, like someone to understand her. And I was like, bro, what the hell? And I just asked for a sign that I was in the right place, like doing something right. And you're telling me like this girl that I've been following is my neighbor and is someone who's exactly like me. This is insane. And then she tells me like, no, but you gotta meet my new roommate. And I'm like, okay. She moved here in March, whatever. I'm like, okay, bet. And we're in May. So she's been there for like 2 months. And then I meet them. Oh, I meet her and then the new roommate. And again, same thing, but this time it's like, it's not that we're like-minded and have the same struggles, it's that we have the same journey to the T. Same journey with like life paths and what we want to accomplish and how we see life, how we articulate our thoughts, how we express ourselves, how we think, our life philosophies. Like, she said her whole life philosophy, and I was like, wait, that sounds exactly like a quote my grandfather says to me all the time, and it's actually written in that wall right there. She turns around and she's like, holy shit, you just summed up my whole life philosophy in a sentence. And I'm like, bro, this is insane. And I was like, do you want to know a more insane thing? You've been sleeping under that quote for the past 2 months. Like, and she's like, honestly, since we're so similar, we might have been like crying or being excited about the same feelings at the same time without realizing. And she tells me, we've all this time been like sleeping head to head, literally. Like we've been connected all this time. And I was like, dude, this it felt like the Spider-Man meme. I was like, yo, every decision we've made in our lives has taken us to the same point in our lives. Not only that, the same pinpoint on the map. Like on the map, we're sharing a wall. Fucking crazy. After that day, I felt like I was snorting like 3 lines of cocaine. I was, yo, what the hell is this adrenaline that I'm feeling? I was like, oh my God, I see you, I see you, I see you. I was like, this is insane, actually. This is not a coincidence. This is, everything was like back to back to back to back to back to back, like signs. And I was like, that day, it felt like a checkpoint in my life. I felt like something told me, like, you're exactly where you need to be. You found people that are exactly like you in situations similar as you. And you're here for a reason. Like, it's not a coincidence that the people that are like going through the same things that you're going through are literally right in the same place that you are. Like, I don't know, it felt so, the synchronicity was just crazy. Anyways, that was my biggest one that happened recently. And today I had one as well. Today when I woke up, I was talking again to God. I was like, yo, still don't know who you are, but I know you're there. And I know I can feel you and see you sometimes. And I don't know how you do it. But I started asking some questions. I started asking questions about free will. I started really like being grateful. I was like thanking, because I'm really grateful for my life right now. I'm like really happy where I'm at. And like I've been going through a lot this past week internally with things that I've been needed to heal, like a lot of growing pains. And I was thankful that I finally could heal a part of me that really needed healing. And I felt like it was definitely him that did that for me, because I was stubborn wanting to like not heal from it, and then it kind of like time literally forced me to heal, and I didn't even realize it. That's what I was doing. And if I would have been impulsive and like wanting to control time, something bad would have happened, and I probably wouldn't have healed from what I needed healing from. So yeah, point is, I was saying thank you, whatever. And then I also said, like, I'm gonna trust you because I still don't know what I'm doing, but I definitely feel that I'm getting somewhere. But I'm gonna keep doing, and I wanna trust you, and I'm gonna keep doing what you're putting me here for. And I'm gonna continue to serve you through my creativity and my work, and like putting myself out there and my art and just sharing, which is like this videos now. It's like I feel sometimes that I'm not even talking myself. I'm like something's talking through me. I'm just being a vessel, literally. So this videos is not me being like, oh, you should do this. This is literally like, I feel like I just need to put this out there. I don't know why. I just feel like I need to grab a mic and talk right now. I'm just letting this go. But yeah. And then today I went to the Met, and it was a great day. I went there. I put classical music on my headphones, and I was walking around. And the way I look, I've talked about this before. The way I looked walk in museums is I kind of like scan the room until something kind of like calls me, or like I do a second look. And then even though I want to like forget about it, something is like, you took a second look, you should go. And I'm like, okay, I will go. But I'm like, why? Why am I looking at this? Like, I don't. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to see the details, and then I'm going to question things and whatever. And then I write them down. And then I end up like coming up with questions, or like symbolisms, or like explanations for things that possibly weren't even there, but I found them. And that's how I get into things. So I was doing it for like 2 hours. And then at the end, I stumbled upon this artist. I was drawing a sculpture. And I was like, wow, it was such a beautiful frame. And I was like, I want to take a picture. But I was like, that's not special. Everyone's like taking out the phone and just taking a picture of him. And then I was like, I've had the urge of capturing this, so I'm just going to draw it. I don't draw. But I was like, I'm going to take my pen and just sketch it. And then I sketched it. And I sketched him, and I was like, should I go up to him? I don't know. I'm scared because like maybe he doesn't want to be bothered, but like people have been stopping him, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. So I go up to him and I'm like, sorry to interrupt, but I saw you and I feel like this is such a beautiful frame, and I'm not a drawer, but you inspired me to draw. He's like, oh, you drew me. That's amazing. Whatever. And then he gave me his card for like an exhibition that I really want to go now. Um, and it was really special. I felt like he inspired me to do something I haven't done in a while, and it kind of felt like a calling too. Like just draw him. And I still don't know what that means or what that's gonna mean for me, but I just knew that I felt like I wanted to draw, and that now inspired me to like buy a sketchbook and just take pencils or colored pencils to the museum and sit somewhere and just draw. I don't know. Now I want to do that. Like I really want to do that now. It felt really fun. I don't know. It was really great because like now I remember with detail everything that was there, and I wouldn't have if I would have just taken a picture with my phone. And that also made me realize like, yo, physical images are way, way more valuable than a digital image. Because when you really just inspect a moment and digest it, you really seize the moment forever within you. It feels like when you grow old and the only thing you have is your memories and your thoughts and everything that you've lived through, and if you can't remember specific moments vividly, then what are you worth, or like what's the value you've gathered from your life? Because what if they destroy phones? Like who knows? What if a phone is destroyed? Am I gonna lose my whole identity because someone destroyed my phone? Because some people, to me, like right now, or I mean not right now, but like you can destroy my phone and I'm gone with it. Like my whole identity, everything is in there. And then I said like, yo, I don't want that. Like I would rather someone destroy my notebook and it feel like they actually destroyed my identity with the notebook rather than with my phone. You know what I mean? Not that I want that to happen, but like saying that I think there's more value when you, with your pulse, with your hand, with your touch, you're creating something that's coming from you or you're taking from life, and that's you. That's part of your identity now, rather than this like teaching, and it's just like a digital image that's like invisible. It's not even real. It's just like somewhere in this block of like, it's a phone, like in this thing. It's like, what does that even mean? And I feel like since we're in a recession right now, because we definitely are, we are in a recession as society right now, we should also embrace the fact that we need to go back to the craft of things. Even if you're not creative, just like doing something by hand, writing or doodling or like coloring something that is like a trace that you are alive. Something that lets someone know that this is you. Something you can actually pass down. You cannot pass down an iCloud fucking folder. Like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, I want to like leave this earth and pass down notebooks or diaries or drawings or realizations or something. And I just want to live a physical footprint. And I realized that literally, I think by drawing this man, I was like, I should just be more present and capture moments by hand. And that gives them more value. That gives me more value as well. And I'm able to remember these moments more vividly now because I took the time to analyze every detail that I was seeing and then putting it on paper. And I have photographic memory. So when I look back, I'm like, oh, I remember this was here and this was here. And his shirt was red and his pants were black. And he had a little hat, a black hat. And then he had a small stool that's foldable for painters. And he was drawing this big sketchbook and drawing on pencil. And I don't know, now I remember it vividly, as if I was just if I would have just taken a picture and walked away, I wouldn't have remembered it at all. Maybe I wouldn't even have looked to at that picture again. I would have just like posted it on my story and being like, Matt, and then that's it. Who's gonna remember that? No one. So I felt that calling again. And then after I left the Met, I made eye contact with this uh, guy that was creating poetry on a typewriter outside the Met, which is something I've been wanting to do. Just like I really want to get a typewriter and write down poems for people. I'm not a poet or a writer, but I sometimes feel like I'm really good at just being a vessel again. And it's like if someone tells me something about them, I can write a little something and give it to them. And maybe it's something that came from God through me for them. And it was not even just me writing, you know? And he's like, do you want a poem? I'm like, yeah, you know what? Sure. Yeah. And then he asked me like, so what's in your mind today? And I told him like, yo, I'm having a solo day. I just went to the Met, looked at some art, and feeling really at peace right now. And he's like, okay, great. And then he does this and then starts writing. And I was like, oof, something talked to him. And immediately something sparked in me. And I was like, I'm going to write something for him right now. And I took my notebook and I started writing a little piece for him. And when he finished, he's like, what's your name? And then he signs it for me and then gives it to me. And then I'm like, let's switch. I just wrote something for you as well. He was like, oh. And he looks at me and he's like, wow, thank you. And I'm like, thank you. And then I gave him some money. I Venmo because you gotta support artists. And then I left, and I hadn't read the poem by then. And then I sit next to a fountain and I start reading the poem, and it's exactly exactly what I had asked for in the morning. It was literally like God talked through him for me or at me. Because what he typed out in that paper was everything that I needed to hear. And I teared up because I was like, oh my God, again? I feel like I struggle a lot with being present because I live a lot in my mind. And I read this in the book, An Artist's Way as well. And something I've now gathered is too much of an active mind is no mind at all. And that is true because sometimes I'm just going and going and going and going and going in my mind. And I end up just losing track of time and what's in front of me. And it's not until I like stop and just stare or like really digest what's in front of me that I start feeling alive, or I start seeing and feeling the signs. And ever since I started doing that, I felt more connected not only to life, but to myself and my purpose without having to directly know what it is. I'm just like feeling like, you know what? I'm getting there. I don't know where it's gonna take me, but I'm going somewhere. I'm not in control, fortunately and unfortunately, because I love controlling my things. But I've decided to just let go. And sometimes it's hard, again, because there's things that come from past experiences or traumas or things that you're like, no, I can't live through that again. But you just gotta let go and trust time and pay time with patience, as I've said before. And I don't know, today was just magical. It was exactly what I needed. And I've been feeling more connected to whatever God is just because I've been pushing myself to be more present, to be more connected to myself and not giving a fuck about what people think. And that's super easy to say, super hard to do, but like generally being like, you know what? I am not like the rest of the people. I am just myself. And if I have to do something that people think it's weird, I'm going to do it. I don't care. I'm not going to look anywhere around me. I'm going to look in front of me, and that's it. And if people want to like point fingers and make fun of me behind me, I'm not going to look at them. Let them. Let them. At the end of the day, who's happier? Me. So, yeah, I've It's been an insane couple of weeks, and I can't wait to see where this whole journey is taking me. And hopefully, you can join me too in just being more present and really adding the value to your life by building your own memories and saving and seizing those memories and moments in you forever for you, so it's yours to keep and no one else's. So it's not about aiming to post or to share what you're doing. It's more about aiming to live, experience, embrace, and inspire others to do the same. And I feel like that's the value life should have, and the way you're going to be more fulfilled and happy with yours. Because that's what I figured out with mine. Well, thank you for being here again. I really want to know what you think. If you find this video, it's for a reason. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe this is your synchronicity. And if you found this video, again, it's not a coincidence. It's because you had to. They sent it to you. It found you. So I hope you're writing about it or thinking about it or doing something about it. But talk to me. I don't know. I want to know who's out there and what you're going through. Because I can get you. I think I do. I think we all do. We all do. Anyways, take care. Be kind. Live and let live. And yeah. Ciao.